I usually read Reddit, the game dev Reddit. It gives a kind of a more representative picture of how game development actually is. If you read the game's press, it all sounds great, but on Reddit you can see how people actually reason and what they're actually doing. This feels like I moved here yesterday. Every day is the same, so it's like time stands still. And I'm still waiting to go crazy from the lack of social interaction. Well, more crazy than I already was. It's a small town, Åtvidaberg. It has maybe 7,000 people. And I was curious about how it would be to have some more peace and quiet, to just focus on my work. And I knew I wanted to become a game developer, an indie game developer. I can basically be wherever I wanted because I would work from home. And Åtvidaberg was more or less a random choice. I don't know any people here. I have no personal relationship with this town. Yeah, so Mekorama is probably the most successful game I've made. It's a puzzle platformer mobile game, very much inspired by Monument Valley. You're a cute little robot that walks around small diorama-like levels. And you need to get from point A to point B. And of course there are a lot of obstacles on your way there. A unique aspect of Mekorama is there are 50 levels that I made, but there's also this built-in level editor. So anyone can really make their own levels. So if you play through the 50 levels and you want more, there are like more than 10,000 more levels made by other Mekorama players. Mekorama has been successful in some parts, but not so successful in other parts. It's got a ton of downloads. The last time I checked, this was more than 25 million. Marketing-wise, it's been quite successful. Monetization-wise, could be better. I wanted to experiment with an interesting way to make money of a mobile game. In the olden days, you used to pay, and then you got the game and then you played it. That was so simple. Every developer wish it was like that still. But nowadays, people have gotten used to free games. And as a customer myself, I play a lot of mobile games myself. And I really appreciate that they're free. You don't know when you download whether you will like it. And then it's great, you can just test it and then throw it away if you didn't like it. So yeah, everyone likes free games. But it creates a bit of a conundrum for us game developers, like how will I live off of this game if I give it away for free? So I had the idea that, well, people can still try Mekorama for free, but when they have tried it, they know whether they liked it or not, and they also know how much they liked it. So why don't I give them the option to pay after they already played it. And they can choose to pay or to not pay, and they can also choose how much to pay for it. It's an unusual strategy, because it's kind of risky. Everyone could turn out not to pay, and then you would make zero. And if it was successful, it would be an interesting story. Like, this guy gave his whole game away free and still made a lot of money. Well, I gave it away for free. I just didn't make a lot of money. It's not terrible. And given that you don't actually get much of anything when you buy it, it works okay. But given that it has 25 million players, I mean, it should make a little more. Who do I know here? So I guess I've been here for 5 years at least. And no, I haven't really gotten to know anyone. I mean, I say hello to my neighbors and stuff. But that's about it. Yeah, that's a good summary of my social life here. When I see a neighbor, I say hello. I had heard so much about how human beings are social creatures and you need to interact with other people all the time, otherwise you will go crazy. So I was a bit worried when I moved here because I knew I didn't know anyone who lived here. But that was also kind of the point. Some space to just do my work. Peace and quiet. And to my surprise, it never was an issue. Like, yes, I've been here for many years, but it doesn't feel like that. It feels like I moved here yesterday. I work basically the same Monday to Sunday. The one good thing about the weekends is that no one else is working, so I know that if I make any progress at all on the weekends, then I made more progress than most other people. If you just keep working the same on Monday as on Sunday, then there really aren't any Mondays anymore. You know, like the pain of going to work on Monday, well, that's just not there because you were at work on Sunday too. It's just another day. My life is very much like the movie Groundhog Day. Every day is exactly the same. Because that works well. For the longest time, I was struggling with procrastination, as we all do. And I tried all the tips on the internet for how to work more efficiently and not put up things. But one thing that works really well is just stick to your routine, because then it's not so much of a choice. You don't need to decide to do this now rather than later. You just do what you did yesterday again. And that works really well. You can get a lot done that way. But it does have the kind of weird psychological effect that since every day is the same, today feels like yesterday. And time kind of stops. So even though I've lived here for at least 5 years, it feels like I very recently moved here. Yeah, so Fancade is the project I'm working on now. And it's a mobile app with thousands of games that you can play. But it also has the tools to make games in the same app, and all of those thousands of games are made using those tools. So basically you can play mobile games and make mobile games on your mobile. So Mekorama had the level editor, and people made some crazy stuff in there. Someone made a Pong game inside a Mekorama level, and it was a mechanical Pong game. So like the ball, the ball moved along metal rails using this motor, and you could actually play Pong, and it sort of had an AI. But really the tool wasn't made to do that. It was clear that people had ideas, and ideas that weren't possible to express using Mekorama. So I thought, well, what I want to do next? Well, I want to do something a little bit more ambitious and also trust the users even more. Like focus less on me making all the content and focus more on the users making the content. Yeah, so the tools in Mekorama are very limited, but the tools in Fancade are virtually unlimited. It has a voxel editor built in, so you can like model little 3D objects, and with it you create blocks and you can make larger worlds using those blocks. And then it has a full scripting language that you can program those blocks with. So you're not limited to the built-in blocks, you can make your own and with their own behaviors and everything. Basically you can make entirely new game mechanics that no one ever thought to make before inside this tool. Fancade is currently in open beta, which means anyone can actually download it right now. I think I have 13,000 beta testers now. So I have some statistics that show me that no, it's not working at all. It's basically making 0, and I don't know why. I really thought long and hard about this. Like I follow the best practices for mobile games. Like I have, well, to start with, the game is free. It has a virtual currency. You can buy the virtual currency for in-app purchases, yes, but you can also get it for free by watching an ad. I mean, it feels like I'm doing everything you're supposed to do. It's just something is still missing, so it's still making 0. Well, not literally 0, but close enough to 0 that in the stats it's rounded down to 0. Usually I like to go for a jog, eliminate that drowsy feeling you get in the afternoon. It's like completely different from sitting in front of a computer screen. Not that I don't like sitting in front of a computer screen, I mean that's my life basically, but it's a contrast. I don't know, it's probably something Stone Age in my brain that likes looking at the tree now and then. The Mekorama players, they started a Discord server, and suddenly I got invited to this service that I had never heard of and didn't know what it was. Well, it turns out it's this chat, especially for games. So now I started my own Discord server, and that's where I usually have most contact with my players. Discord is a lot of fun, too much fun. Very tempting to just spend your entire day there. It feels a bit like my players are the team that I don't have myself. Like if we're working together on this game, because they're helping me, and in Fancade you can make your own games, and they're making games while I'm working on my own fan games or working on Fancade itself. So yeah, it's like a team almost. My mom is my biggest fan, and my first beta tester. She's the one that tests all the new stuff I make, because it usually breaks immediately, so when she tests it, it doesn't matter so much that it breaks because it's my mom. So yeah, I'm really happy about that, and I feel like it's kind of it's promising that this older woman who's not your typical mobile game player can actually play Fancade and even make her own games using the Fancade tools. If she can do it, you can too. She did voxel art, basically modeling this room in Fancade. If I made a lot of money, I would want a house. An apartment is great, but I can't really listen to music. I can listen in headphones, but anything else will let the neighbors listen to it too. I like to play music loud, a bit too loud. That's the favorite volume. Look behind you.
Oh, yeah.
Quadruple 10-inch bass elements.
That you can't use.
That I can't use. Yeah, so if Fancade does not succeed, I mean, it's hard to say. You need to decide. When do I consider it to be a failure? And I'm going to give it some time. You don't know immediately if it succeeded or failed. But yeah, if it does fail, well, I haven't planned for that. You can retake all of this if I don't make sense.
Yeah. I will. I think it sounds really good, but I'll retake them anyway. Okay.
Huh. You know how many retakes I do when I make a game?
No.
I mean, I've
iterations.
Rewritten Fancade from scratch twice at least.
The entire.
Yes, everything, almost. You never get it right on the first try.
In what fashion do you rewrite it?
Well, when you've worked on a project for a while, you get some increased understanding that you wish you'd had from the beginning. And then it's very tempting to throw out everything you made and restart the project with this new knowledge. Usually it turns out there was some new problem with the new method, so you go back and do it again and again and again, and you never finish. That's what I mean.